I went from being a broke Romanian kid to running a $100 million portfolio of companies. I did it by building 8 tiny habits that compound over time. And most of these habits, they take less than 15 minutes. But they are the reason I can run multiple companies, stay in shape, be home for dinner, and still build new things every single week. These tiny 8 habits are the habits that made me rich. Let's dive in. Habit number 1, win tomorrow today. Your tomorrow is won or lost the night before. Literally. You cannot have a productive morning if you have a weeknight routine. Every Sunday, I plan my entire week and I get everything dialed in. Every night, my day is dialed in for the next morning. But the real hack is the brain dump. Before I go to sleep, I dump all my open loops into a document. And most people can't sleep because they're tossing and turning, thinking about what they need to do tomorrow. They wake up tired and the day is ruined before it even starts. Just try this. Dump it all out. Put any unfinished tasks in your calendar for tomorrow, shut your brain off, and choose to win tomorrow today. Which brings me to habit number 2, protect your morning. Your body is an on switch for your brain. Starting the day on the right foot sets the tone for the rest of the day. I train every single morning. Exhaust the body, tame the mind. I don't wake up and check Slack right away. I don't check email. I don't look at other people's emergencies until I have moved my body and broken a sweat. Because if you wake up reactive by checking your inbox while still in bed, you're letting other people dictate your priorities. Protect the first 60 minutes. Which brings me to habit number 3, mindful journaling. You get in life what you focus on. Every morning, I do a brain dump. I write down the chaos in my head. Then I set exactly 2 priorities and intentions for the day. Not 10, just 2. And if I get those 2 things done, I know the day is a win. And then finally, I write down 3 things that I'm grateful for. And one of them has to be incredibly mundane. A good cup of coffee, a quiet house. And for those of you guys that are stuck on the journaling, I recommend this journal called the 5-Minute Journal. I think it's Intelligence Shift. You can find it on Amazon. And it literally will prompt you through to use that journal, kind of like how you use a toothbrush. When I was building Albi, everything felt like it was on fire. I use the 5-minute journal to basically keep me grounded. It gets the mess out of your head onto the paper so then you could actually attack it. Which brings me to habit number 4, learn daily. I have an unlimited budget for my mind. My mentors, guys like Dan Martell and Paul Graham, taught me that if you already knew everything you needed to be successful, you'd be successful. And the fact that you aren't means that you have a knowledge gap. For $30, you can buy the blueprint of someone who spent 30 years mastering a topic. And every leader is a reader. Feed your brain every single day, even if it's just for 10 minutes. It will change your life. Which brings me to habit number 5, environment engineering. Few things will influence your life more than your environment. You're literally the byproduct of where you spend the most time and the people you surround yourself with. I designed my companies to be flat. I'm allergic to managers managing managers to manage managers. I surround myself with killers, even if they're superstar individual contributors. And if you put yourself in a room of those types of people who expect greatness and are that awesome, you will also rise to the standard and maintain the standard. And the fun part is you get to choose what room you want to be within. And then you get to design the machine, not the grind. And if you curate the people around you, you make the right decisions, the easiest ones to make. Which brings me to habit number 6, measure what matters. You can't improve what you do not measure. I live by dashboards. I measure everything. Every morning, I look at 5 numbers that matter the most across all my different companies. I have a spreadsheet for my health and fitness goals. I have Training Peaks where I can see my health performance. I use the Whoop where I can see how I'm resting, what my HRV is like. Every quarter, I get blood work so I can see that. Every single week, I ask my wife on a scale of 1 to 10, how did I show up? And I ask my daughter the same question. Numbers just reveal the truth. They give you the foundation to push against to make a change. If you don't track your metrics and you don't look at the numbers, how do you make better decisions? How do you become better? I recommend to everybody to find your North Star metric, the number that moves the needle the most, and measure it every single day. Which brings me to habit number 7, the weekly reset. Sundays are sacred for me. This is when I review my wins, I clear out my mental clutter, and I make the plan of attack for the next week. I typically score myself on a scale of 1 to 10 in 7 different pillars. I see where I fell short, and then I go to the calendar and I block off time to be able to improve the areas where I fell short. And the reality is boring consistency compounds. Wealth is not built by jumping from one hot trend to the next. It's built by doing the boring work, reviewing the data, making micro adjustments week after week, year after year. And the weekly reset is how you ensure you're climbing the right mountain, not just climbing fast. Which brings me to habit number 8, default to action. This is a core principle from my Unleashed You framework where I'm actually writing a book on this whole topic. But by the time the average person is done thinking about an idea, I have already shipped it. There's nobody else in my industry that can move as quickly as I do because I do default to action, and my entire team, all the way down to ICs, adopts this mantra. Speed of implementation is the ultimate competitive advantage in any industry. When life gives you a reason to quit, you say, good. You choose the hard. You don't overthink and you execute. And if it fails, you learn. And if it succeeds, you scale, but you never sit still. Your life is literally your byproduct of your habits. That dream life that you want is so close. It's just a few days away from being a little bit better, a little bit more consistent. If you want the full system, the exact daily habit checklist I use to run these 8 habits, comment habits below, and I'll send it to you. Start right now and watch your life transform. Let's go.